Happy Saturday, wonderful community. It's Jana Wunderlich here, and I wanted to come on and share a little bit more about self-care today and why it is the lack of self-care, why it is destroying your ability to really create a bigger impact. So I've just come from my morning of gardening, which is part of my self-care routine, which inspired me to come on here and talk a little bit more about it because I'm really passionate about the impact it has made in my life personally. And I want to tell you a little bit more about the impact it has made and why I think it is so important for nonprofit leaders to embrace that. So we all know about self-care, right? Self-care is kind of the word of the year just after Corona, and everyone talks about well-being and how we need to look after ourselves. And so we know all of that, right? Everyone knows that. So do a yoga session, do some me time, things like that. And I always thought self-care was a little bit of a strange thing. I never quite understood what people meant by that, because when I did some me time, first of all, it helped me just temporarily. So I temporarily felt a little bit more relaxed and a little bit better. But at the same time, I also felt a little bit guilty that I took the time to do that while I still had so much else to do and I didn't get more done, right? Can anyone relate to that? And then after that, I still felt exhausted. It didn't really, temporarily, sure, it was a little bit better, but I still, at the end of the day, was just as exhausted. And I think that's how a lot of people approach self-care, right? As like another item on the to-do list, which is exactly what I did. It's like, oh, right, yeah, I'm tired. I need to do my self-care. I need to do my yoga session. And it's another thing on the to-do list that we kind of tick off. And so what I learned is that doesn't really work. It sure as hell didn't work for me because I still worked 80-hour weeks and I didn't really felt any better. On the contrary, I think it made me feel even worse because when I didn't do it, I felt guilty. When I did, I felt guilty. And so I think we need to reframe the whole self-care thing a little bit. Because when I did a coaching program, I participated in that a couple of years ago. And I really realized what self-care really meant. It really opened my eyes. And I realized how bad I actually was at self-care. Here's the ice cream van. I hope you enjoy the little tune in the background. So I really got to see how much I was neglecting myself, right? Even though I was doing yoga sessions regularly, I was doing my exercise, I was going for walks, I was doing all the things that everyone was talking about, but I wasn't doing self-care. I was still neglecting myself because I didn't understand how to truly honor myself. But what I also realized is that exactly that, not understanding how to honor myself and how to do self-care effectively, was standing in my way to really achieving my goals and really achieving what I meant to do. So, and this is why I'm here and why I'm so passionate about that and why I'm sharing that, because it truly changed my life. Sure, it was one step, but that was the first step that really changed my life because I was able to tune into really being me and honoring me as me. And that's what really self-care is all about, looking what you are standing for, what's important to you. And really what I call self-care is to understand what keeps you operating at your maximum energy and your maximum capacity. And that could be, exercise, that could be yoga sessions, that could be gardening or dancing or meeting friends, or, you need to figure out what that is. But what is the one thing, or not one thing, oh God, but what are the things that keep you operating at maximum capacity? And it's not another thing to do on your to-do list. It's just what you do. It's part of your day. It's part of your life, right? It's not like, okay, I need to do my 2 hours of workout today. Maybe it is, but it's not your to-do list. That's just your self-care routine. It's part of your life, and it's really important. Or sleep, for example. Sleep is a really big one, that you get enough sleep and you can operate at your maximum capacity. So have a look at what are those things. Maybe it's spending time with your kids or with your family. Why would you make that a to-do list item, right? It's just what you do. You have dinner with your family every night, or you have breakfast with them. You talk about things. You have a conversation, things like that. That are part of your life and are not adding to your stress levels as such, right? So that was my realization, and I really wanted to share that because it's really important that we acknowledge ourselves at a deeper level and really embrace and internalize this self-care and nurturing, right? Because here's the thing, we are working in non-profit organizations, which is an industry that we chose because we love to help others. We love to help people. And I guess that's why we joined in the first place, right? And it keeps us thriving. And then as women, on top of that, we have a nurturing instinct, which is really, really useful when we look after families and we bring up children. But we also need to know how we can effectively apply that to our work settings, to our organizations, to our leadership. And there are ways to include that without, killing yourself. And the thing that happens and that I see in nonprofits is that we tend to overgive. We tend to overdo things. We overwork, we overgive because we're here to help others, right? And it's really easy to justify that. But it's not helpful because it is actually holding you back to be at your best, and it's holding you back to help more people. So what we really need to do is look after ourselves first. And when we can really embrace that, then we can look after others so much better. So what I really want to drive home, and here's the ice cream van to just, underline this, is when we look after ourselves first and we embrace the self-care, we become so much better at helping others. So not doing the self-care effectively is holding us back from making a bigger impact in the world. And it was certainly the first step for me, and I hope this is useful, and I would love to hear what your experience is, what you feel about self-care. Is it just like a thing that makes you roll your eyes and go, heard that enough? Or what is your routine and how does it help you? Share with us. And let us know in the comments. I would love to hear from you. I want to wish you all a happy weekend, and I will speak to you soon.